Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Known and Named. My name is Lexi, and I will be your host today. And let's get started. How are you guys? I'm very, very excited about today's episode. As you can tell, we have relocated yet again, but this time we are officially in the room where we will be filming as soon as we finish the setup. But now I have somewhere to sit in here. I have my new desk and a chair. So we love it, and I think it's super cute, and I'm very excited. We're going to get a couch in this room, and then I'm going to kind of put some stuff on the walls, and we will be, whenever we get set up, we're going to film there from now on, and I'm very, very excited for it. But no, this whole, past week, I've just been, shopping for stuff for the room. I've got a rug, I got this desk, I got this chair. I think that might have been it, but I got a lot of stuff. So I'm very excited and I'm very happy about the way things are going. Do you guys like my hair? I started wearing it natural a little bit more often. I'm trying to embrace the hair and not set it on fire all the time and straighten it and all that. But I'm still trying to figure out what to do with these front pieces. So bear with me. They're kind of a pain in my butt, but it's all right. It's okay. This is my God-given hair, and I love it. And I'm trying to convince myself that I do. So, and it looks good every now and then, but just sitting with it and not touching it, I feel like it looks bad, and it's still kind of drying. So, but happy Tuesday, guys! It is Tuesday. And I know this is typically it's supposed to be okay, new episode every Tuesday, but what we're talking about today leads into why it's probably not going to be on Tuesdays or every Tuesday. Just because of stuff. So we're going to talk about it though. You know what I've been loving recently? Sandwiches. That is so random, but I was thinking about that. And I literally had to put it down in my notes app the other day because I was I have been loving sandwiches recently. Literally getting a loaf of bread from the store, deli meat, and just making a sandwich. Not although I do love Subway, but an at-home sandwich. Because I'm currently on a fast right now. I'm not doing an all food fast, but I'm fasting. I'm not using social media, and I am also not eating out and also not drinking soda. So I'm drinking water pretty much. Wait, my dog's about to start barking. I don't know why she's freaking out. Ellie, what are you doing? Come back. I hope she doesn't start barking. I had to start over 3 times because she was barking like a maniac. But I'm not going to start over again. She's just going to have to bark. I had a point and I don't remember what it was. Oh, yeah, sandwiches. So, like I said, I'm not on Instagram or TikTok right now. I'm only going to post whenever I get this episode uploaded, and then announce that the episode's up, and then I'm going to delete it again. But other than that, I am really just I think it was not overwhelming my senses, but I was spending way too much time on TikTok and deep scrolling into the night, and I just can't do it anymore. So I'm also not watching I'm not listening to secular music too. That's something else. I really just kind of felt from the Lord that I needed a good deep cleanse of my spirit, because I was just not having it. But so I've been making sandwiches at home, and I am obsessed with it. I've mastered the perfect sandwich, at least my perfect sandwich for what I like. But it's what do I do? I get bread, obviously, and then I put mayonnaise on it. This might not be everybody's favorite thing in the world, but it's my favorite thing in the world right now. So bear with me. If you hate it, you hate it. But if you want to try it, go for it. It's delicious. Bread and then mayonnaise, and then I put 2 pieces of a deli lunch meat turkey on either side, and then I put a little dollop of ranch and the cheese, and then I top the cheese. I put sun chips on it. This is the key to the entire sandwich. You put the cheddar, the cheese sun chips, the brand sun chips, those, you put those on there, and then you close it, and then you push it so it crunches a little bit, and then you eat it. I dip it in ranch because I really like ranch, but it's literally so good. And the crunch in the cheese, oh my gosh, it's so perfect, and I'm obsessed with it. But yeah, I had no idea what I wanted to talk about this week. So I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was I don't know. They were asking, what are you going to talk about this week? And I was I don't know. I really don't know. And I was I was just putting it off because I didn't know. I had ideas, but none of them really felt like I was like actually like weren't from the Lord. They're just like, I could talk about this if I have to, if I need to talk about something, like, you know what I mean? But then I was talking to the same friend, and we were talking about it, and I kind of started to feel like my heart, I wasn't really in it. And so I spent some time with the Lord that day, and I also like that. So this was, I want to say Saturday. I think it was Saturday. Yes, I believe so. I'm not sure. Yes, it was Saturday. I remember. So I was just sitting, and I felt like absolute, like, I just felt, I don't know. I felt really, really bad. Like, my stomach didn't hurt, but like I just felt like my gut, like I hadn't eaten right. I felt like really bloated, and I just felt weighed down, and my hair felt like I was like, I can feel my hair on my neck. Like my skin just felt like dry, like really, really dry, and just like gross. You know what I mean? So I was just like, I'm not feeling it. So I took a bubble bath, and I scrubbed, and I scrubbed myself from like head to toe. There's a timer going off. Anyways, ignore it if you can hear it. I don't know if you can, but if you can, ignore it. I like scrubbed from head to toe. I like literally scrubbed myself red. I didn't actually do that. That would have been really bad, but I did. And so I felt really, really clean. I had like exfoliated and everything. So I felt clean. And then the day before Friday, I had done my hair like this, and I didn't do a day hair refresh, a day 2 hair refresh. And my hair was just like a mess, and I just hated it, and I wanted to die. But not actually, but so I straightened it. I'm sorry, but it made me feel better. So I did it anyways. I straightened it, and then it was able to like just be very smooth. I was able to just like put a little clip in it and get it out of the way. I slugged myself in lotion and Aquaphor and Vaseline. I slugged myself in it so that I could be fully moisturized. And then I put on some clean, fresh clothes, and I went to Target and I bought this, or I went to Target and then Walmart to buy this chair, and I bought that rug. And I came in here and I put together, and then I ate a sandwich for dinner, and it was great. But then after my sandwich, I was like, okay, I need to like sit down with the Lord, because I know he's like needing to talk to me about something. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to sit down with him and we're going to talk about it. So I did. And I had like a great encounter with him. And so basically I came in here and I was trying to read in Proverbs. And I've been reading in Proverbs a little bit. So I was like, okay, let me go, like I've gone through a couple chapters. Let me go watch Bryce Crawford's podcast episodes that he did on Proverbs, because I know he goes through them, and then maybe I can like get all I can out of it, because that's one thing is really important to me, is like getting all that I can out of the scripture, like intellectually wise. So I start watching it, and I'm watching the first episode, and I'm sitting like this the whole time. I'm like just like staring at it. Nothing's going in my brain. I'm like, all right, this is not gonna happen. This is not working. So I turn it off. I put my Bible to the side, and I go and I shut all the doors, turn the lights off, and I put on worship music, and I sit on my carpet, and I just sit there and I start breathing. My mind is running at like 100 miles an hour. Keep that in mind, because I'm like, I cannot focus. I cannot pull a single word of thought from my brain just because I'm so like all over the place. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just like, I just can't, and I don't know what's going on. So I turned off worship music because the words were like getting in my brain, and I put on soaking music, which is just like silent, not silent, but like there's no words in it. It's kind of like worship instrumentals, kind of, and like if you like know music, it's just like a pad. And if you don't know what that is, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a backing sound. I don't know. It's just sounds. And I just kind of sat, and then, or as I came up here to change it, I sat in my chair. I didn't sit on the floor anymore. And I was just sitting, and I literally sat with my knees like this, with my head in my knees for like 10 minutes. I didn't know. I was just letting my brain like breathe for a minute, and I needed it. And then I started to pray, and it was a very, very quiet, I said it out loud, but it was very quiet prayer. And it was just kind of me going like, I would say something, and then I wouldn't say anything for a couple minutes, and then I would say something, and then I wouldn't, and then I would say, I just like, as the words came to me, I just spoke them, because I didn't want to have any like empty words, any empty prayers, because I just wanted to pray like truthfully what I needed to pray. You know what I mean? And this is something that has never happened to me before, like, in my entire walk with the Lord. Like, I'm talking about, like, me crying. I just started to, like, tear up. Like, my eyes just started to water and just tears started to fall. I wasn't bawling, but I was, like, my eyes were watering and tearing up and tears were falling down my face, but it wasn't, like, aggressive. They were just coming. And to me, I was like, this has never happened to me before, where I'm just crying, just being in his presence, because I could tell that the Lord's, like, he was in the room with me. And that's something that I've never felt before. Like, yes, I've felt his presence and I know he's all around me. And I've had these, like, huge, like, bawling my eyes out on my knees on the floor moments, and, like, at a event or like a service or whatever. I've had these moments, or if I'm like, but I've never had them where I'm, like, sitting in my room alone and just crying to God. Like, I've had, like, yes, I'm really going through it and I'm just bawling my eyes out because of the situation, talking to God, but the crying came first. I was talking to God and the tears just came. I have nothing to be upset about. I'm, like, fine. I have no sadness. There's nothing, like, making me sad that's making me cry. I think it was literally just the Lord's presence was just there, and it just brought my spirit to tears. And that's something that's never happened to me before, and I was like, wow, I really needed that, clearly. And it was amazing, and the Lord spoke to me, and I kind of came to some conclusions about stuff. One thing that I am, like, so horrible at is rushing. Like, I go at 100 miles an hour all the time, and, like, it has proved to be bad in the past, and I don't know why I continue to do it, but I do, and it's a problem. So the Lord really, like, showed me that and made me aware of that in ways that were different than before. And the way that he kind of showed me the most was with the podcast. I don't think there was, like, this wasn't the right time, or I'm not supposed to do this. I don't think that's what it was. I just think he goes, okay, hey, here, I'm going to give you here's a podcast. I want you to start this. And I took it and I ran with it. And, like, I didn't do any prep work. I just posted an episode like that, which, marketing strategy wise, was a great idea, and it worked, and it got out there, and it made people like, oh my gosh, I didn't know this was a thing. Let me go watch it right now. And that's how it happened. But because of the way that I did that, there was no, like, prep work behind it. It was all very rushed, and it wasn't, I think for the first episode, it wasn't very professional. And even the second one, it was a lot harder, and it wasn't as quality as I would like it to be. But I also know that it doesn't need to be perfect for God to move, but that's not what I was getting at. I felt like the quality wasn't what it could have been. And I feel like that was affecting me too, because I needed it to be perfect and it wasn't. And I know this one's not going to be either. Like, it's dark in here, and my setup's not how I want it to be. Like, I could have waited for my setup to happen, but I didn't want to. I wanted to do it now because I was impatient, which is fine. It's not fine, but I don't think it's a bad thing that I've uploaded episodes and that I've started it already and people know about it already. I just think that I took too many steps too fast, and I, like, instead of, like, taking baby steps, I, like, leapt over 3 steps at a time. You know what I mean? And I think the Lord kind of put this picture in my head of how to, like, paint it out, even just to visualize it. It was kind of like, so God opened this door. He opened the door to the podcast, right? This door said podcast on it. He opened it, and instead of, like, walking through it, I ran through it. And what I didn't know is there was a door on the other side of that. So there was a door, a room, and then another door. And instead of stopping in this room, I just ran right through the door, and I left, like, a Lexi-shaped hole in the door, and I just kept going. That's kind of what I did. And I think what that door was the upload of the first episode. Instead of walking through this door, looking around and seeing, oh, okay, here's some things I need to be thinking about before I do this. Let's really dive deep into the name, dive deep into, like, specifically, what am I talking about? What is this centered around? And I knew that I wanted it to be centered around Christ. I knew that. And I just kind of took that and ran with it. But I didn't think about, okay, like, I need to have a cover art. I need to find out how to get it uploaded on Spotify and Apple. All these things that I've been rushing to do now, I could have given myself so much more time to do. And for the past 3 weeks, I could have been figuring that out and could have been uploading the first episode today. And it would have been so much different. Do you know what I mean? So I think the Lord really just kind of opened my eyes to that and the way that I went about things, and that I could have gone about them in a way different way. And so I was like, well, dang, I've already started it. How can I, blah, 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 and there's like psyching myself out and stuff. But I think what I'm going to do is it's going to be like, the way that I'm going to go about this is I'm going to, obviously, number one, be filling up a lot more, because one thing I've realized I also do is I don't fill up enough to start pouring out. And that's a topic for a whole other episode that I could dive into. But and that's really important to do, because if I continue to pour out without actually filling up, I'm going to run dry. And so that's something I need to, that's why I'm fasting, is so that I can give myself more time to do that. And make myself focus on the fact that I need to just be spending more quality one-on-one time with the Lord every single day. And I wasn't doing that. And I have a couple verses on why it's important to wait and like to be patient with the Lord, because I'm a very impatient person, and it can really get in my way, and it can get in a lot of people's way. And I think impatience and the need for immediate satisfaction is something that we struggle with a lot in our generation and in this world, just because we have everything at our fingertips on our phones. Like it's all just there. Do you know what I mean? Like food, like I literally have such an issue with food. Like I am so impatient. I don't want to wait. I don't want to have to cook my food. I just want it to arrive to me and be ready to eat. And that is so lazy and so gross of me. So I've also banned myself from door dashing for the time being, because like it's bad. And literally I posted a TikTok the other day about it was this TikTok. I don't know what it was or what church it was, but it was some pastor at a church talking about you're praying for deliverance, but you're still relying on like the DoorDash after midnight, whatever. And I was like, basically saying like, you're asking for this, meanwhile like you're asking to be delivered and you're asking for deliverance, but like what about that DoorDash you be getting delivered at midnight? And I was like, all right, I say you, God. But I was like, no, I was like, leave me alone, it's fine, it's just DoorDash, it's food, I'm feeding myself. And I was like, Lexi, what are you doing? Stop it. But and I think that's something that our generation does a lot, is we rush all the time, and we are rushing like, especially, it's also a lot of pressure is put on us to do that too, especially like going out of high school and going into college. It's like, all right, where are you going to college? What are you doing with your life? Do you know what you're going to do? Do you know where you're going to live? Do you know this, and that? It's like, oh my gosh, I literally just turned 18. What are you talking about? No, I don't know what I want to do with my life. It's scary and it's hard. And like there is so much pressure put on us, and it sucks, but it's kind of just this world, and we kind of have to learn to deal with it, which is frustrating, but it's okay, because God has a plan for every single one of us, and he will show it to us when it's time. And that's another thing I've been really impatient with too, is like, God, what am I supposed to do with my life? And I'm like, bro, I'm like in the middle of a city by myself where I don't know anybody. What am I doing? That's why I came here, for you to tell me what to do. And it's like me being impatient with the fact of like, okay, also, it's that, again, like I was talking about last episode, it's that fear of not knowing what's next. It's like, that's terrifying. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know what's coming. And I'm one of those kind of people who needs to have everything like down to the last detail planned out. Like if I'm hanging out with people, to, okay, what time are we leaving? Or what time do I need to be there? Where are we going? Which parking lot are we meeting in? Which this, and that. All that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, like what time are we going to be done? How long is the movie? How long are we going to be shopping for? How much money do I need to bring? All that kind of stuff. And nobody ever knows these answers, and it makes me rage. But it's fine. No, God's taking that from me. He's working on it. But it's like, it's the same thing. It's like, okay, I don't know what the next, I don't know my 5-year plan, because God could take that and just flip it upside down. You know what I mean? And it's hard. It's really difficult. But it's okay, because God has us, and God's going to make it work. And truthfully, like, me being open and vulnerable with you guys about that is like, I want to make sure that I'm giving you the best that I can, and that I am fully pouring out to you from the Holy Spirit, and not from like me using the backup generator and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to do that. I want to be fully fueled by the Holy Spirit and by the Lord whenever I'm doing this and whenever I'm planning this out and whenever I'm talking to you guys. And I want it to be that and not anything else. You know what I mean? So this episode isn't going to be really a lot of stuff. It's honestly probably going to be really short because I'm just wanting to talk to you guys and just tell you that like it might be a little different for the time being, and it might not be every single Tuesday, and it might not be every single week or whatever. And I might randomly upload on a Thursday or on a Saturday. I don't know. You know what I mean? So it'll be maybe a little bit different from here on out, but I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys quality episodes. And after some time, it can probably get back. No, it will. It will get back to a more for like a different schedule over time. Once I get more experienced in this, once I get more experienced on all of like the programs that I'm using and all that kind of stuff, and it will become better and it will become easier for me to navigate this. And I'm just asking for you guys' grace on this, and that you are praying for me as much as I am praying for you in this podcast. But I do want to talk a little bit just about like why it's important to be patient with the Lord and the things that you could be missing. Because like, for example, I missed whenever I was rushing all over the place. I like with the podcast, like I wasn't able to upload the first episode on YouTube or on Spotify and Apple because I hadn't figured it out yet. And I didn't plan on figuring it out for like another week. Or like another thing was I didn't have a cover art and I was just rolling with it. You know what I mean? And I didn't have a specific theme, and I didn't have a brand. I didn't have a brand layout. I didn't have anything to post, and I just I went with it, and it just wasn't really working. And I was just like, I feel like I could have gone about it so much better. And now, because I rushed through it and I wasn't patient with the Lord and the way that He was going to work, now I have to sit. I was sitting there the other day and I was just like, man, now I'm really disappointed, and now I wish I could have done it better. And I'm disappointed in the way that I went about things. And now I feel like it's not as good as it could be. And now I'm sitting here, blah, 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 like pouting and making myself feel bad because I didn't wait and I was rushing. Another thing that is really, really big for a lot of people is that waiting season of like not being in a relationship. It's like, I know people. There's two sides to the scale. I know people who are like, I don't care to be in a relationship right now. Like, I'm satisfied where I am with the Lord. But then I know others who are like, I want a boyfriend or I want a girlfriend now. And I'm so lonely. Why does nobody love me? All these things. And it's like, no, it's like, you are loved. And then you have to be able, and this is something I tell a lot of of my friends who are younger than me who ask me these questions all the time. It's like, you have to understand that if you cannot be okay being single and it just being you and God, then you are not going to be okay in a relationship. And that's why God hasn't presented you with one, because you wouldn't know how to steward it. And that's why these waiting seasons are important. And that's something that I've had to learn, and I've been shown through amazing examples of people that I spend time around of how many blessings that can hold. It's like your life is 10 times different when you're in a relationship versus when you're not. So waiting and being patient with the Lord and trusting that He's going to present to you with that man or that woman that is meant for you when it is the right time, you have to trust that and you have to be okay with that. And even Paul talks about in 1 Corinthians. Yeah. Paul talks about this in 1 Corinthians of like, how he would prefer that everybody stay single like him, because then you have your full 100% time devoted to the Lord and not devoted to another human being because you're single. You know what I mean? So this is the time to be stewarding that, and this is the time to be fully in the Lord's, so that even also, just because you think that you might be ready, your man of God or your woman of God might not be ready, and you're praying that they are protected, and you're praying that they are whatever, and that by the time they come to you that they're ready. They're probably not. That's probably why you don't have them. But it also probably is because you're not ready. You know what I mean? So it's like all these different things that go into why we have these waiting seasons and why we are meant to take things slow, literally just watch around you. Your life becomes so much more peaceful when you take your time. And also, because then it's like, okay, I'm taking my time, but now I'm in a rush because I ran out of time because I took too much time. That's a procrastination problem. Why did you leave it to, and this is me talking to myself right now. Why did you leave it to the last minute and now you're rushing because now you don't have time to take your time because you didn't give yourself the time. You know what I mean? It's like you could have woken up earlier. You sat on your bed and scrolled on TikTok for an hour and now you only have 10 minutes to get ready. You know what I mean? So giving yourself the time and the opportunity to take your time and to not rush is the key here. Because if you're not giving yourself that time, you're not going to have the time and you will inevitably be rushing. You know what I mean? So that's one thing that for me that I've had to do this week is I'm not on social media because it was taking up all of my time and I wasn't prioritizing my quiet time with the Lord. And another thing, I lost it. It was there in my brain and now it's gone. Oh my goodness. Oh, back to like yeah, you just experience so much more peace when you are taking your time and you are like literally just like taking it one step at a time. You're able to breathe and you're not stressing yourself out and all of these things. And even when it comes to like just appreciating God's nature and who he is and the things that he's done, you're able to see that so much more clearly when you are taking your time, especially like driving. If I'm in a rush, like I'm not paying attention to anything outside of me because I'm in such a rush. But when I'm not in a rush and I'm driving and I'm on time or I'm even going to be early, I'm able to just drive peacefully, just to worship while I drive or to just admire the trees and the birds and the grass and the blah, 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 and the flowers and all that. Like it seems cliche and like cringy, but it's true. It's like you're able to appreciate things so much more when you have the time to really look at them. It makes me appreciate my food so much more when I'm sitting here and making it. You know what I mean? When I have made myself take the time to make food, I appreciate it so much more because I'm the one who made it. I'm able to just appreciate the Lord through every step of the way while I'm making this food. Or I'm able to appreciate the fact that I woke up in the morning if I'm waking up earlier and I'm not in a rush to hop out of bed and get ready and get to work. Like, no. It's so much easier to just, I don't know where, wait, hang on. It's so much easier to live life when you're taking your time just because it is so much more enjoyable, I think is the word I was looking for. It's more enjoyable. Like, yes, it's not always going to be perfect. And even there are things like you don't want to take your time on because it's not fun and I don't want to do this thing. But eventually you will appreciate it more. And especially over time, looking back on that waiting season, looking back on that time where you had to be patient with God, looking back on that time where you did take your time, it's like, man, I was able to, I appreciate that so much as I was in it for so long, you know what I mean? And if it's the opposite, if you rush through that waiting season or you made an opportunity to get out of the waiting season instead of letting God give you the opportunity. And then you look back and you're like, man, I really wish I would have let myself take time. And I really wish I would have waited in that season for a little bit longer because I feel like I would have learned more and I would have been more prepared for what I'm facing now. Or I wouldn't even be facing what I'm facing now if I would have given it to God and let him take control. And I have I share that from personal experience of like wishing I had taken my time in something and wishing I hadn't rushed so much and then looking back and being like, dang, now I'm like in this place where I really don't want to be because I didn't take my time and I didn't fully let the Lord have the reins over it. And I took the reins and I ran. You know what I mean? And it's not a fun thing at all. It's not. But I want to read you some verses about that and about the Lord taking his time and how he will. There is a reason for the wait and there is a reason why we are put in these waiting seasons and why we need to be patient for the Lord. Lamentations 3:25-26 says, "The Lord is good to those who wait for him, to the soul who seeks him. It is good that one should wait quietly for the salvation of the Lord." Psalm 27:14 says, "Wait for the Lord, be strong, and let your heart take courage. Wait for the Lord." Philippians 1:6 says, "And I am sure of this, that he who began a good work in you will bring it to completion at the day of Jesus Christ." God will come through no matter how long you have to wait, no matter if it's a couple minutes, days, weeks, months, years, no matter what, God will come through. And there will be a reason that he made you wait. There will be a reason that he is testing your patience right now, and he will come through and he will complete what he has set out for you, no matter what. And you can't be rushing through all these things because you're going to look back and wish that you didn't. Another verse is Psalms 37:7. This one's in NLT because the other one was like in ESV was just too complicated. It says, "Be still in the presence of the Lord and wait patiently for him to act. Don't worry about evil people who prosper or fret about their wicked schemes." Oh my gosh, that's exactly what I was saying too. Hold on. Whoa. Praise Jesus. But what I was talking about, you're able to just feel more peace because you're in the presence of the Lord. You're able to appreciate being in his presence so much more when you are still. If you're running in circles in God's presence, which is great, which is fine. It's great. Like, I am one to be in praise and worship and just be jumping up and down. Like, that's great. But there's also been times in worship where I'm like, I can feel the Lord calling me to literally just stand still like this. And I did. And I got chills. I felt his presence like never before. Just because in that time he needed me to be still, and I was. And he moved and he delivered. You're able to see what's... Okay, prime example. You're in a car. You know how like whenever you were a kid and you were in the car and it was raining and you watched the little water droplets drop down? Yeah, that's not the point. That's not what the point was, but it made me think of that. You're in a car. You're in the passenger seat so that you're like not having to pay attention to driving, right? And you're driving. You're on the highway. You're going like 70 miles an hour. You're not like you can't see anything around you because everything's moving so fast. All the trees on the side of the highway are just blurry, you know? And then you get off the highway and you hit a stoplight and you're stopped. And you look to your right and you see all of these trees and you see how beautiful and green they are. You can see every last leaf, every branch, all that. And then you look to the left and you see the highway and you see all these other cars. They're just driving, and you see the other cars next to you. When you were on the highway and you were going at 70 miles an hour, you couldn't see anything around you. It was all just a blur. But when you're at the stoplight, you're able to see and you're able to watch and you're able to fully appreciate your surroundings. And that's exactly what it is. We're running at 100 miles an hour and we're not able to really see the way that God's working in all of the small ways, all the little ways. You know what I mean? But if we were to just sit still for a minute and be in his presence, you're able to just see it so much more and you're able to feel it and it will overwhelm your senses like never before. You know what I mean? So, yeah, the real whole purpose behind this is just to tell you to just take your time and you don't have to be in a rush and you can be patient. And I'm really, really, really praying for you guys and just be praying for me too that I can not be in a rush and I can just take my time because otherwise life's going to literally, I sound like an old person saying this, but if you don't take your time, life's just going to go by like that. So take your time and look at your surroundings. Pay attention to the ways that God is moving in the little things, in the small things every single day. And just watch and see what he does. So that is episode 3, right? Yeah, 3. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It's a little bit shorter than the other ones, but I'm not sure when the next episode will be up. Maybe it'll be next Tuesday if I have something to say. Maybe it won't. We shall see. But I promise you guys there will be another episode at some point in time. This is not going to be it. There's still more. There is still more to come. But I love you guys, and I really, really, really hope you have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday and that your week goes splendidly. Jesus loves you, and I love you too. Thanks so much.